new venue, a new surface, and maybe a new world champion. The WRC has arrived on the island of Sardinia, which for the first time hosts Rally Italia. Sardinia is 50 minutes flying time from the nation's capital, Rome. The base for this rally is the town of Olbia. Gravel has replaced tarmac, and there are 19 stages totaling 384 kilometers. So, a new WRC event, but what do the top drivers make of it?
It's very rough, big rocks everywhere, and very, very twisty and difficult.
It seems really, really narrow, tricky, slippery, and twisty.
You have to stay in the middle of the road. There is no place for sideways or spectacular driving.
I'll be very surprised if it's going to be a rally that all the factory cars are in, let's say, an end of second leg.
I think if you are on a big attack, the first stage, it could be the last one.
If the results here go his way, Sebastian Loeb could become the new World Drivers' Champion in Sardinia. But for now, he's just concerned with survival.
When I was in Rocky, I say to Daniel, I don't know how it's possible to do this race without any mistake. It's too narrow, too slippery, so we'll see.
Peter Solberg is the only man who has any real chance of catching the Citroën driver, but that would probably mean he'd have to win all 4 remaining events. There are several ways Loeb could win the championship here, but what is clear is that if he wins in Sardinia, Solberg must finish no worse than second to keep things alive. It's a similar story in the Manufacturers' Championship, where it looks certain Loeb's Citroën team will have this wrapped up before the season end. Ford will be keen to hold off Subaru in the battle for second. And talking of the Manufacturers' Championship, Skoda and Mitsubishi both chose Sardinia to announce they will be competing in next year's championship. Skoda have 2 cars entered in Sardinia, while Mitsubishi will make a one-off return this season in Spain.
The great and the good of the rally world gathered in Prочесть for the opening ceremony. Reigning world champion Peter Solberg, as ever, the chief entertainer.
If I'm going to see a sexy girl like you, I have to come back on Sunday.
An extra incentive, perhaps, for Solberg to win. The cruise heads south from the service park at Olbia for the day 1 action, which takes place inland in the Sardinian mountains. 3 stages used in the morning are repeated in the afternoon. And as we've heard, there'll be no easy introduction here. A change in venue, but still as popular with the rally fans. And they're not the only ones on a high. So too is the championship leader, Sebastian Loeb. Loeb will probably drive a tactical rally, deciding how much to attack as the event progresses. For now, he's feeling his way into this new rally. He won last year in San Remo, where for 5 years drivers contested Rally Italia on pure tarmac, rather than Sardinia's razzle. As for Peter Solberg, although he has to win every rally, he said before the start he'd have to be careful here.
It's going to be very difficult, and the most difficult rally the whole year. Absolutely. 50% of the things we haven't seen on the recce, because it's so difficult to put everything in the pace note, so it's no point to try to be a hero here on the first day, and not even on the last day. You have to be so neat and perfect.
Well, he says there's no point being a hero, but there's not much sign of a cautious approach on stage 1.
To keep right with a long crest, the 5 left last keep it 20, done right. Guidance early.
Luck's with him there, he could easily have turned the car over.
6 right left to the crest, 15, 6 left left.
The Norwegian knows it's tough, but he's nevertheless blazing through the stage.
The crest has 3 right.
There's Loeb's time, and Solberg's going to be much faster.
6 6 right first, 40.
Incredible! Half a minute quicker, and no one can match that. Marco Martin still has a mathematical chance, albeit a slight one, of winning the championship. He's second fastest, but is still 16.8 seconds slower than Solberg. The only other driver with an outside chance of the title is Carlos Sainz. The championship may be out of reach for Marcus Gromholm, but he could do with a good result after 4 retirements in the last 7 rallies. What's more, the car's niggling problems have yet to be ironed out against to be a real contender in 2005. In the second Ford, François Duval has shown this season that he can challenge the more experienced drivers.
Pour gauche 70, ouvre 70. Pour jump 120,
damages a wheel or focus. Not an ideal start, but Duval does have form on new rallies, finishing second in Mexico. Harry Robbenpera won this rally last year when it was just a European Championship event. Advantage? He says not. Only 12 kilometres are the same. But despite reporting gearbox problems, he's third fastest. There are smiles around the service park, with Skoda having confirmed their involvement for 2005. But the smile is soon wiped off the face of Tony Gardemeister. A driver error means broken suspension, and that ends his rally. The Sardinian sun, though, shines on stage 2, another long test, more wide, sandy roads. And a chance for Petter Solberg to extend his lead, perhaps.
Into 6 left, 80.
The Norwegian
Caution, 6
again
left, keep
is on
left
the
with a
attack.
big jump, 20. Line into open hairpin right, double tighten.
Touch on the brakes, and
Open
he's over
60.
safely.
6 left plus.
But he's got a problem.
100.
The Subaru is
Keep right
overheating,
of a
and
big
he's running
jump.
on just 3
50.
cylinders. He's fast,
Line
but
into 2 left
troubled.
minus, tightens 1 plus. Up
The
long and
engine's
tightens.
heated up to 119 degrees,
Into 6 right
and he has
minus, up
another
long.
23 kilometres
Opens
before
80.
service.
Line into 10.
His teammate Mikko Hirvonen was 4th fastest on the first stage.
Det var så loj.
The predictable result, but he's losing time now. His car too is overheating. He slides 4 places down the overall standings. Marco Martin's having a less than
20
ideal
hairpin
run
left.
too. Here he is on a narrow, twisty section.
20, 2 minus right, Eri. Oh, no.
A stall on the hairpin. He loses nearly 12 seconds and his
2
second
minus right,
place.
Eri.
And that
20,
is
3
good
plus
news
left.
for Marcus Gromholm.
Ja oikein täys. 150. Vasen nopein sisällä.
The Finn's only 0.7 seconds slower than stage winner Solberg.
5 ja oikein hidas leikkaa. Vaseri miinus. 4 ja vasen nopea.
Gromholm takes second place.
7. Oikein nopea.
But the favour of the fans seems particularly to fall on the outstanding driver of the season so far, the consistently competitive Sebastian Loeb. After a relatively undistinguished stage 1, he seems to be finding his rhythm on stage 2. He's third fastest and is now 7th overall. Giuseppe Callisto is running well in 6th, but his dreams turn to a nightmare on stage 2. The rally is already living up to the driver's expectations.
Solberg's lead over Grönholm after just 2 stages, an impressive 24.1 seconds. Loeb back in 7th, but everybody up to and including Grönholm is well within his sights. Outside the top 8, Armin Schwartz is now the only Skoda. He's 11th, behind Navarra and Boyot.
The conditions on stage 3 are more representative of this rally. Tight, twisty, danger on the sides and frequent changes in surface. Master this and you'll master Sardinia. And how Marco Martin would love to master this island. Until now, Cyprus has been regarded as the slowest rally, but this is changing people's minds.
Beginning is not too bad, but then it gets really, really twisty and narrow, so it makes Cyprus look motorway.
And Harry Rottenpera finds out exactly how challenging these tricky stages can be. With that, he drops 25 seconds and tumbles 4 places in the overall standings. But when the going gets tough, it's Sebastian Loeb who gets going. He sets the fastest time on stage 3, leaping up to 4th overall. Is this an indication of things to come? Away from the faster sections, Loeb's neat and precise driving style helps him, but he also has an advantage in his car.
Yes, Sebastian is using his Citroen's superb low-down engine torque and excellent traction. This may not look that dramatic, but it's a big difference with such a low average speed. Bear in mind, this is over just 500 metres.
These slower sections feature throughout the final day of the rally, so Loeb's chances of a podium place will get even better.
Hairpin right,
Stage,
double
Peter
tighten.
Solberg trails Loeb by 2 seconds.
2 left minus give in. Into 1 right, opens up long,
But he's still
20.
hampered by his overheating
Half 2
engine.
left,
The car's in
opens
safe
40,
mode,
crest into
and the
neat tight
anti-lag
hairpin
system
left,
isn't
double
working.
tighten. 1 right plus, opens 30.
Solberg is as anxious as anyone
2
to
right
find
minus.
out what is causing the problem.
I can't concentrate about driving, Paul, you know.
No, I know. Hey, don't worry about it. Service now. We've done a damn good job. We haven't dropped too much time.
Is this mud and debris on the front grille blocking their air intake, a problem they've had before? At service, it's discovered a cracked water pipe is actually to blame.
At the 2 last stages, we had quite big problems with the temperature of the car, and we lost quite a few seconds there. A lot, actually. We went to 3 cylinders. We drove without response system, and not easy. But still, we came away with it with a good lead.
You said before the rally you're going to take it easy. Now that's not taking it easy.
Oh well, you can do it on different way. Be very clever with the lines, and try to be very neat and precise. And I went through the first day with just 1 mistake, and everything was absolutely perfect.
Is this problem with the engine solvable?
I hope so.
Solberg's car fixed, but no such luck for teammate Mikko Hirvonen. After the overheating problems, he had now suffered transmission failure and would fail to make it back to service in time. All that effort for nothing. His rally over. Solberg goes into stage 4 with a big lead, but just 2.2 seconds separates second place Marcus Grönholm and 4th place Sebastian Loeb.
The afternoon offers well-placed rally fans the chance to see a second pass through this morning's group of stages. And Sebastian Loeb is as quick as any to learn the best way to tackle a new stage. No surprises then that he's faster the second time through. And with just a tenth of a second separating him from 3rd place, he'll be hoping his time's hard to beat. The man who has to beat it if he's to hold on to his position is Marco Martin.
100, 5 left into 4 minus right.
But Martin's already slower and he's lost 3rd place. now trailing the Frenchman by more than 5 seconds. Rally leader Petter Solberg won the stage by a country mile the first time through.
Keep right to early shot, 6 left minus, tightness of a jump maybe. Just 6 right minus, start long, tightness 50.
And he's quicker than both Martin and Loeb in the second pass.
1 left boss to the crest. 6 right minus, keep in 20.
But he isn't the fastest. That honour falls to Marcus Gronholm. He and teammate Harry Robbenperre reported overheating gearboxes in the morning session. But that hasn't translated into any loss of pace. And Gronholm is now determined to remain in the leading group. Robbenperre too is looking sharp, second fastest to his teammate, giving Peugeot a pleasurable 1-2 to set up the afternoon's action. And even better, Robbenperre is quick enough to overhaul François Duval. He takes 6th place overall. So Robbenperre into the top 6, but the main headline from that stage is that Loeb continues his move up the standings. He's now 3rd. And he's putting pressure on Marcus Gronholm. But the flying Finn responds. He records his 2nd stage win on stage 5 and is now 10 seconds clear of the attacking Sebastian Loeb. But Loeb is eager to move yet further up the leaderboard. Remember, he was 9th after the first stage. He's going to take time out of the Finn on the day's final stage, but how much? Nearly 7 seconds faster. Further down the table, 4th place Marco Martin lost time to the chasing Carlos Sainz on stage 5. And on stage 6, he struggles with low sun and dust.
And crest 32 plus right, don't cut.
Neither of which are helped by the fact he's run out of wiper fluid to clean his windscreen.
2 plus left long.
He's 13 seconds off the pace.
20, 3 plus right, 3 minus left.
Sainz enters stage 6 just 2 tenths of a second behind Martin. His pace is enough to overhaul the Estonian. By the end of the day's stages, he leads Martin by more than 7 seconds. As for the rally leader, he's still in charge. Second fastest on stage 5, he takes his 3rd stage win on stage 6. The crowd are happy, but Solberg is surprisingly downbeat.
No brakes and no tires.
No brakes and no tires, no?
Too soft. Too soft.
Even with those soft tyres, it's been a stout defence of the lead throughout the first day from Petter Solberg. The gap to 2nd place Marcus Gronholm, 30.3 seconds. But Sebastian Loeb has given little away to his championship rivals, fighting his way back to 3rd. Some near misses, but as yet few major casualties in Sardinia. Remember though, Marco Martin's prediction that many won't make it through day 2. It's a 6:30 AM start for the crews on this 2nd day. A long day ahead, and no time to take in some of the delights of Sardinia. Sandy beaches break up the island's rugged coastline, making this a popular holiday destination. But it's in the mountainous interior where the rally action is taking place. Dust and rocks amongst the hazards facing the drivers. 7 stages make up the 2nd day, including 2 passes through the 34-kilometre Tandalo test. Stages 9 and 13 are the longest of the rally. The total distance of today's stages, 148 kilometres.
These stages are rather more flowing than the tricky, twisty roads of the final day, so Petter Solberg will be hoping to pull away from the pack in preparation for a more safety-conscious drive on day 3.
Open 40, all left plus up long, 150.
He's taken soft compound tyres for grip, and he makes the most of them. He wins stages 5 and 6, and extends his lead to 37 seconds. But Solberg's still not pleased.
Very, very slippery, and I felt that I went a lot of sideways all the time, a little bit too much, but it seems to have been okay.
Sebastian Loeb's championship lead means he doesn't have to scrap for points, but he's nothing if not competitive. And Marcus Gronholm in second place is just 4.5 seconds ahead of Loeb at the start of the day.
Oikein ehkä jouhea, betoni sisällä 5 ja oikein pitkä nopea. Sama. 5.
So there's pressure on the Finn. What can he do with Loeb on the pace again and his position under attack? He appears to be faster in these dusty conditions. Yes, he's beaten Loeb by nearly 4 seconds on stage 7 to extend his lead.
4, 3, 2, 1. 23 plus left. 50, 4 minus right.
Marco Martin lost 4th place to Carlos Sainz on the final stage of the first day, and he'll be keen to regain that position over the course of day 2.
3 plus right.
He reports a damaged wheel, but it doesn't appear to have affected his pace. Sainz is 7.5 seconds ahead of Martin at the start of the day.
5. Izquierda caliente se tierra. Izquierda caliente se tierra para 1. Derecha que corta en cuarta. Para rasante en izquierda que corta. Izquierda buena más se tierra.
But the Spaniard loses time to the Estonian on stages 7 and 8.
Para izquierda buena más corta. Abrirse 1 frenando. Izquierda media se tierra.
By the end of them, only 4.7 seconds separate him from the pursuing Ford.
Ahora lo han pasado. A 0 con Martin. Hemos recuperado. Acaba izquierda rápida para 1. Derecha una más con Fes.
In the other Ford, François Duval is chasing 6th place Harry Rottenberger. But his attack isn't helped by the clouds of dust hanging over the stages and the low sun glaring on his windscreen.
Léger gauche droite 100, léger gauche droite 100, pour droite 70 ferme, droite 70 ferme.
Ja roikkuu. Vasen helppo kirraa erikseen tolpan. Oikein täys 5.
Even so, on stage 7, Harry Rottenberger is 10 seconds slower than Duval, and that means his lead over the Belgian is cut to less than a second going into stage 8.
250.
Can he hold off Duval over the 9 kilometres of this short stage?
Maaliin.
He's not going to manage it. No, he's lost 6th place to the Belgian. In the remaining Skoda, Armin Schwartz loses 2 minutes in stage 7, as he's had to switch to the manual gearbox. On the following stage, his difficulty turns to disaster.
80.
Like teammate Tony Gardemeister, he's broken the car's suspension.
Right one open.
He makes it to the end of the stage, dropping nearly 12 minutes on the way. On the road section, he attempts repairs to no avail. But the 2 Skoda retirements won't deflect the team from their plans for the future.
We try to improve our consistency, try to reach the finish for sure, like we did not today, and also try to close a little bit the gap to the leading cars.
And looking forward to 2005, it's great news that you're going to be taking part in all rounds of the WRC. What's your plan for next year?
Okay, the plan is, this year we reached positions between 6, 7 and 8. The plan is the target is to improve a little bit by 1 or maybe 2.
But on the Sardinian rally leaderboard, Solberg is still out on his own. behind, every position is hotly contested. At this stage of the season, every extra point will be crucial.
Tandalo is the longest stage of the rally, 34 kilometres of challenging gravel to negotiate before service. Having successfully overtaken Harry Rovanperä on the previous test, Francois Duval's luck changes. That impact with the Sardinian scenery has badly damaged the wheel and the suspension. You can see the right rear wheel is bent inwards. Now Duval has to drive through the rest of the stage carefully, losing 6 minutes. So surely Rovanperä will regain 6th place. But listen, the Finns in trouble too.
We don't have any gears, we have to stop on the stage. Okay.
You can see it on his face. Not again. Carlos Sainz leaves the stricken Peugeot in its own depressing dust cloud. Transmission problems have dogged the 307 all season and it's still handicapping their progress. Rovanperä is forced to admit defeat and retire.
Gearbox broken in a few cases before that place, and first I lost, I think so, second, and after that third gear is really broken now and his car is not moving.
So Marcus Grotholm's left flying the flag for Peugeot.
Ja vasemmalle oikein
But
pitkä
fortune
nopea
isn't
kiven
favouring the
sisällä.
French team. Gronholm has mechanical concerns of his
Oikein
own.
pitkä eri. Nyt tapahtuu jotain. Mitä?
He's very slow. Is it the same gearbox failing that's beset Rovanperä?
Mikä nyt on? The engine is completely dead. We are driving now with first gear, and even with flat, full throttle and power, nothing happens. It goes very slowly.
So a second Peugeot stops at the stage. Gronholm gets out to try and discover what's caused the car's sudden loss of power.
Can you tell me any news? What are these numbers?
He manages to continue through the stage, but is losing a lot of time. 23 minutes in all. He's so clearly out of the points that he decides to stop again and find out what's happened to his frustrated teammate. The two Finns are unlikely to be saying much to flatter their team's engineers. The gremlins are more than annoying. They're downright embarrassing. All of which will raise the spirits of Citroën team boss Guy Freckelin, out on the stage to see how his star is performing. Sebastian Loeb, thanks to Gronholm's problems, is up to second overall on this most demanding of rallies.
It looks like very difficult rallies because it's very slow, very slippery, and it's very narrow, and it's very easy to get a mistake in this rally. And then we need to wait the end of the rally to know a little bit more. But for sure, for the moment, it's not a bad position.
A complete contrast with Peugeot boss Corrado Prevera, who's got nothing to say, but plenty to think about. It's not the gearbox that's causing trouble, but the turbocharger.
The turbocharger is a device that uses exhaust gases, seen here on the right, to drive a turbine connected to the air intake, which is on the left. The turbine forces 3 times as much air into the engine than would normally be possible. That air coming in from the left is then cooled before it enters the engine's combustion chamber. Greater amounts of cooled air mixed with greater amounts of fuel means more power. Before the turbocharger fails on stage 9, Marcus Grönholm is going quicker than Sebastian Loeb. But just look what happens when the turbo blows. A rally car is so finely tuned that it no longer even has the power of a standard road car. Grönholm can only drive in first gear, from high performance to no performance.
The car can be fixed at service and the power cranked back up. But it might not prove quite so easy to get the driver going again.
What's your state of mind at the moment? Because this year has been so difficult for you.
It has been difficult, yes. So, okay, I don't know what to say. Now we have to go to the end of the season and breathe a little bit and hopefully we can get the car okay for the start of the season. I really hope.
Would it affect your decision to continue next year? Because you've always said if you don't enjoy it or if you can't win, you won't go on anymore.
I know we can win, but when everything is okay. Now it has been so difficult in every rally. Even when we won in Finland, we had a lot of problems and things like that. So I don't want to stop when the things are like this. For sure not.
Sebastian's sitting just behind you. Really, you need help from other drivers like Marcus to try and beat him, push him hard so he makes a mistake.
No, I don't need help from any other drivers. He have to do a mistake himself, so he retires. That's the only way for me to have a chance to win the championship.
A much changed leaderboard after the dramas of stage 9. Loeb now up to 2nd, and Carlos Sainz moves into the top 3 for the first time. And now up to 5th in his home rally is Italian privateer Andrea Navarra in the Subaru.
A bird's-eye view of the opening of the afternoon's action, where local fans are delighted to see Navarra, who finished 2nd on this event last year in the European Championship, still performing strongly. The home favourite is 2 minutes and 10 seconds ahead of Francois Duval. Now Duval's suspension stint, he's much faster than the privateer and takes 35 seconds out of Navarra over stage 11. There's well over a minute still to claw back, but the Belgian will be thinking of that extra point. Ahead, his teammate Marco Martin has his sights set on 3rd place Carlos Sainz.
80, 5 minus left long into 4 plus right, very long.
Martin was slower over the short stage 10, but that won't stop him attacking for the rest of the day. The Estonian finished 3rd on the last 2 rallies, both of which Peter Solberg won, with Sebastian Loeb as runner-up. So, if Martin can get onto the podium, the 3 drivers will be in the same order for the 3rd consecutive rally.
40, 4 right. 70, long left tightens to...
Sainz then has work to do to keep the Estonian at bay. And over stage 11, he fails in that aim. He doesn't appear to be enjoying this stage and loses another 3 seconds. His lead over Martin's now less than 9 seconds. This is the no such pressure on Sainz's teammate Sebastian Loeb. He can afford to exercise caution. He cruises through stage 10, only 7th on the stage, and is 4th on stage 11. In his own words, the championship's the objective, and he'll be quietly content with the way Rally Italia-Sardinia is developing. Out in front is Peter Solberg. He wins stage 10 and is still pushing on stage 11, where he's 2nd fastest.
2 right minus 9, 1 bust, opens, and line into 6 left minus, opens up long.
So Solberg extending his lead, but no positional changes through those 2 stages, and the closest contest of the afternoon is the fight for 3rd place.
6 right, short 5 left.
Marco Martin is
right
eager to get his 8th podium finish of the season, and Carlos Sainz stands in his way.
100.
The Ford driver takes nearly 2 seconds out of Sainz over just 9 kilometres on stage 12. Going into stage 13, the margin is just 6.8 seconds. So the Spaniard's under pressure on the rerun through the day's longest stage. And he's going to be slower. He's lost another 4 seconds. He'll have to push to keep 3rd place tomorrow. But all's looking good for his teammate Sebastian Loeb. drops time to rally leader Peter Solberg on stages 12 and 13, but his second place is still unthreatened. And Solberg's position too is
6 right plus 50, short 4 right plus 30. Big cut, early 5 left plus through gate.
Nonetheless, the Norwegian wins both of the day's last stages. That's 6 stage wins out of 7 for Solberg on day 2.
4 right minus tightens repeated. Just
His
6 left
strategy
up long.
and driving have been exemplary.
To keep middle of the crest, 30, jump maybe,
Solberg's already
50,
won one of the
6 right
season's
plus with a
three
small
rallies.
crest,
At
40
the end
right
of the
up, 2
second day
right
in
minus
Sardinia, he
3
has a
right minus a
commanding
lead.
lead.
Opens flat right of a big crest, 60.
Solberg's lead going into the final day, 1 minute 11.5 seconds, which is nearly identical to the gap that separates second place Sebastian Loeb from Carlos Sainz in third place. Solberg has it all to lose on the final day.
For me now is just to maybe calm down a little bit and just try to go steady. And, you know, the thing again, you know, if you win this, you know, maybe it doesn't matter for the championship anyway, because Sebastian is there, so... But still, it's a very tough day tomorrow. We have to be on the case.
You need Sebastian to make a huge mistake.
But I don't want him to go off or something, but, you know, a small technical problem would have been good.
You need to be very careful, because one mistake tomorrow, one perhaps retirement mistake, and it really opens the door for Petter.
Yes, sure, and I think he has the same to do. So we'll have to both to be very concentrated tomorrow.
Final preparations in the Subaru camp for the third and final day. Plenty to think about for Petter Solberg, leader of the Rally Italia. 6 stages await the crews on this final day. They only total 78 kilometres, but reports from the recce say they are the most testing of the whole of the rally. And a sting in the tail, no service stop to break them up.
And this is what they'll find. Narrow roads with nowhere to go if you make a mistake. There are large boulders at the sides of the slippery stages, and if the boulders don't get you, the rocky ruts and deep ditches just might. Marco Martin has to avoid all that, while driving as fast as he can if he wants to overhaul Carlos Sainz and claim a podium position.
5, 4, 3, 2,
40 plus left, 43 plus left.
What's more, the 6 points would strengthen his third place in the championship at the same time.
And 2 plus left, long, long.
5. Izquierda rápida sobre él, saca la caleta, se abre.
As for Sainz, he feels tyre choice and suspension settings handicapped him in the duel on the afternoon of day 2, and hopes his current setup will give him the edge here. Remember, Martin was only 2.9 seconds behind the Spaniard coming into the stage, and he's setting an impressive time on this first test of the day. But he's suffered a puncture and will have to use his only spare tyre after just 1 stage, and there's no service before the end of the rally. So Sainz will know Martin was quick, can't hold him off. He's not quite on the pace, he's definitely slower. Amazing, they're dead level after more than 300 kilometres. Second place Sebastian Loeb's involved in no battles. There's no one chasing him, and he's not attacking the rally lead. His task is to get the Citroën home safely, and he's cruising, 13 seconds off the pace of the stage winner. And the stage winner is Petter Solberg.
6 left cross to the crest, 20, 2 right minus side.
With such a massive
20.
lead, you might expect Solberg to take it
minus
easy,
half long of a
but
crest
the
and
Norwegian
nearly 2 right
blazing through the
minus.
Sardinian mountains and wins
To
his
back right
10th
to the
stage
crest,
of the
40,
rally,
short 4
extending
left
his lead in the
20,
process
keep
to
right
1
to the
minute
crest,
and
needs 1 left
24
left side.
seconds.
Five more stages to go, and with the first 2 places looking fairly secure for Solberg and Loeb, all eyes will be on the battle for third place between Martin and Sainz.
And Martin's teammate could have been involved in a battle for 5th. Francois Duval had seemed set on chasing the privateer Andrea Navarra on day 2.
Au 60 pas que
But on day 3, he seems to be more concerned about finishing than fighting. Navarra is 4 seconds faster than Duval on stage 16. The Italian is on his way to his best ever WRC finish, eclipsing his 8th place in Sanremo in 2000.
Imposta, scivola, sinistra uno meno. Largo, sfiora.
Coming into stage 15, Marco Martin is dead level, don't forget, with Carlos Sainz in 3rd place overall. But Sainz is keen to pull away from the Estonian, so he'll have to better his pace on the stage.
Con fe, para izquierda rápido con corta, para derecha rápida menos, para lo corto, izquierda buena más, izquierda frenando, para derecha buena.
No, he's slower. He drops to forward 1.3 seconds behind Martin. So on to stage 16, Martin wants to pull away from Sainz and consolidate 3rd place. But disaster strikes. The car is filled with smoke, which can only mean one thing: a serious engine problem. Oil must be leaking for some reason and burning on the engine. And on contact with the red-hot exhaust, the oil is in flames. Martin does his best, but his rally's over.
I'll probably scratch yourself to death.
So, Martin's brief hold on 3rd place over, Carlos Sainz is back in the final podium position and is set to stay there. Ahead, Petter Solberg said he'd pushed too hard for no reason on stage 14 and he's going to back off. He's 3rd fastest on 15, but his competitiveness is re-established on 16, another stage win. But the thing he'd really like to do is put pressure on championship leader Sebastian Loeb, and that he can't do. Loeb is driving through these twisty stages as if he's on rails. He hasn't made a mistake all season, and on this rally, which has proven to be incredibly challenging, he hasn't put a foot, let alone a wheel, wrong.
Sur gauche 100, sur droite 100 plus,
stood up to the test.
sur frein raide pour gauche 90 moins.
Unlike the unhappy Martins.
Our turbo blew up. It made a big hole in the turbo housing and then had a bit of fire as well, so it melted everything around the turbo.
There are now only 5 WRC manufacturers' cars left, and Solberg is still clinging to his hope that Loeb's Zara will develop a mechanical fault with no service stops today. Only this remote refuelling point is available. But Citroen's reliability record means chances of technical failure look even more remote. They're the only team with both cars still running here and have had just 2 retirements all season. The next best team, a Subaru, with 5. And that is 2 less than Ford. While Peugeot's woes are plain for all to see. Throughout this rally, Loeb has again benefited from a superb car and the dedicated backup of an excellent team.
I think the car is very strong and it is a result of a very long job, a very hard job to make the car very reliable. You have 6 mechanics per car. Each mechanic knows perfectly what he has to do. Everybody knows what before the car arrives what he has to do.
Meticulous in preparation and attention to detail, nothing is left to chance. That's why Citroën are as close to the manufacturer's title as Loeb is to the driver's title.
The 2 Citroëns now occupy podium places, worth valuable manufacturer's points behind the Subaru of Petter Solberg. Solberg has again won the individual honours this morning and is preparing to hold off Loeb over the final 3 stages.
You surprised how fast Petter was going? He really was setting some good times again.
No, because I don't try really to make any time. I just driving, so no, it's okay.
Were you going a bit too quick this morning, do you think?
No, everything worked out very well. I just good confidence and feeling the car feels very good. Second stage I was, very slow because it was very bad and my pace was not good. But it was really good fun, very good.
Not so much fun for former world champion Marcus Grönholm. The Finn lost 23 minutes on day 2 when his turbo failed. But he's been posting good times since the mechanical disaster, and is second fastest on stage 17. His good work pays off as he climbs back up to 7th. Just ahead of him is Gigi Gali. He's had a handful of drives in the WRC for Mitsubishi this season, but is here in the production version of the Lancer, and is an impressive 6th overall. In the remaining Ford, François Duval hasn't been able to overhaul local hero Andrea Navarra, but is set to bring home 5 manufacturers' points for his team. Navarra, in his privately entered Subaru, is holding on to 4th place. Carlos Sainz is almost 7 minutes ahead of him. He's completely unthreatened in 3rd place. The Spaniard will have been relieved to see the end of that tight battle with Marco Martin as he cruises towards his 6th podium finish of 2004. Solberg faster than Loeb through both those stages. Just an 8.6 kilometre final test to go, but potentially this is the toughest of the rally.
30 correct, 80 turn, don't cut, 1 left minus guidance.
For Petter Solberg, a 3rd win in a row is almost close enough to touch.
1 right arm long, open.
To finish first he must finish, but this stage is really tricky. Just look how narrow this road is. It's rutted from the first run through this morning. But look at those boulders at the roadsides. As it now, Phil Mills is shouting out those don't cuts in his pace notes. But Petter has driven well, but also very tactically. He's taken a soft compound tyre the whole rally, driven on them sensibly to allow him to gain grip and not to slide sideways. That's very fast and staying out of trouble at the same time.
But whatever Solberg does, unless Sebastian Loeb makes a mistake, the championship's pretty much out of reach.
That's correct, and Seb has driven with one thing in mind, and that was to finish. A World Championship title, I'm sure, is far more important to him than winning the Rally Italia-Sardinia. Sorry, Petter, this guy isn't going to make a mistake.
But take nothing away from Solberg, a faultless display of pace and accuracy over some of the most demanding gravel stages in the WRC. His driving, his car, and his tyre choice, perfect. So Loeb's set for another 8 championship points to retain his commanding lead at the top of the drivers' table. The Frenchman's persistent and controlled here, as he has been all season.
50 mètres. Gauche 110 plus.
A wholly professional performance. The 10 points, though, for the 3rd and 2nd rally belong to the Norwegian. After 3 retirements, including that dreadful finish in Germany, this 3rd win will be all a fantastic achievement by Solberg and co-driver Phil Mills. And one to delight Subaru and Pirelli. Victory in Italy.
I'm really pleased. Really good fun. 3 in a row, and that's really incredible. Thank you very much.
So there it is, another win for Solberg, keeping to his promise of trying to win the last 6 rallies of the season. But the 8 points that Sebastian Loeb collects for 2nd place means that the championship door is closing fast on his only remaining rival.
Congratulations, 3 very good wins and 3 good rallies for you.
Really good fun for me, the whole team, and Pirelli. It's been absolutely excellent, and it's difficult to ask for more after especially the crash we had in Germany. I never thought it could be possible to come back so quickly, actually.
You had almost a perfect drive from start to finish, but really perfection's not enough to beat Sebastian in the championship.
No, not really. It's our own fault early this year, so and that's how it is. But for me, its plan is to win much as possible and enjoy. And I must say, I had really good fun the whole weekend.
Sebastian, the World Rally Championship is very, very close now.
Yes, it's a very good result for me here. to finish second behind Peter is for the championship very, very good.
Sebastian Loeb needs just 5 more points from the remaining 3 rallies to be crowned world champion. To put it another way, 4th place in Corsica would be good enough. His team are also on the verge of clinching the manufacturer's title. Only Ford can catch them, but it would take a remarkable and highly unlikely series of Citroën retirements for that to happen. The Inmarsat stars of the rally are Peter Solberg and co-driver Bill Mills for winning 3 consecutive events. It's the first time anyone's completed a hat-trick of victories since Colin McRae in 2001. The next stop on the WRC calendar is Corsica, only a few miles away across the Mediterranean Sea. Sebastian Loeb's destiny is in his own hands. A chance to win the World Championship on French soil. But Peter Solberg will push him all the way. You'd be mad to miss it. Join us in Corsica, and don't forget to keep up to date with all the news on WRC.com.